We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1.3 trillion market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
It is absolutely crazy. Bitcoin was moving just so great yesterday, going to 70,000, giving us some bullish feelings after the Bitcoin Nashville conference, and then suddenly Bitcoin took a dive, created some red candles, and the question is why did this happen? Why did Bitcoin correct in that manner? It just got smacked back into the range 66,000, 7,000, and formed some red candles here. So obviously there are reasons for it. We are going into it. We are going to look also what the status is of retail coming into the crypto market, and as always we're looking at Ecomi and Veve. So make sure to stay tuned through all of it. So, good morning to all of you. How are you doing? I see a lot of people already in the chat. So, we have Wes, more Bitcoin dump. We have Trucking Hank, good morning. Maria Hodler, we have Energy here, moin. Bodo is also here. Okay, that's enough red candles when bull run. Yeah, exactly. So every time that people get bullish, it seems that there is something else happening, and we're as I said before, we are going to analyze exactly why. I think there are two reasons that could have led to this, and we are red again, or actually maybe it's even three reasons. So make sure to smash up the like button for this. And hey Motili, also welcome, good to see you. Let's take a deep sip of coffee. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on if you haven't yet. And if you're watching this later, let me know in the comments below what you think is happening. But now let's jump right into the action. So we see that actually, by the way, we see also that this target that we had here has been hit nonetheless. That was the upper channel band target, so to say, which is like the channel is way bigger. The channel is this, right? But if you look at the 4 hourly, this is what is happening. So Bitcoin did, and I observed this more or less live, right? So here formed candles, pushed higher, and at this point when it pushed to exactly 70,000, Bitcoin got rejected hard, and this is a almost 6% dive that it took here back to it hit back to 65,800. Now we are at 66,500 more or less, but giving people just another chance to get some more Bitcoin before we go nuts. And potential reason for that is this. So 2 billion worth of US Silk Road Bitcoin just moved on chain. Are the Democrats dumping to show disdain for the crypto and challenging strategic reserve narrative? So this is obviously a very, let's say, weird moment to move some Bitcoin as the US from that seized Silk Road Bitcoin just 2 days after Donald Trump said he wouldn't touch these Bitcoin forever, and that they were not going to be sold, and instead there would be a US stockpile for Bitcoin, right? So it is a weird moment that this moves, but there's also a potential explanation. Yes, Justin is oh, by the way, oh fuck. Justin, you're right. Yes, you are a rare hodler. You're a rare hodler, but I didn't include you yet in this in the screen. I completely forgot that. Pardon. Shame on me. Shame. But tomorrow, I promise, tomorrow after stream I will do it. Tomorrow you will be number 40 on the screen. I'm very sorry I didn't get to doing that. Bob Builder says, any thoughts on the DeFi narrative? It's not here yet. I think people are still juggling around meme coins, so many of the narratives didn't hit. But this is, so people see this happening, right? 2 billion of Bitcoin moving, and they are like, oh, what the heck is going on? Will they dump on us? Will they dump before Donald Trump can become president? So people are betting on that, and they see this with worry. So let's actually go to this here first. So, but there's something happening that could explain this, which has nothing to do with the Democrats trying to cross the Republicans and so on. And that is this: U.S. Marshal Service chooses Coinbase to safeguard trade its largest cap digital asset portfolio. So basically, they just chose, and this is probably a longer process, they just chose Coinbase as the custodian for that money. So maybe they just moved it to a fresh wallet, and they're not going to sell it, but they have Coinbase as custodian. So they selected Coinbase Prime as its partner to safeguard and trade its Class 1 large cap digital assets. So actually, if anything, this could maybe bullish also, right? So because trade means both ways, they could also buy something, right? So this is a potentially bullish thing. But why are people bearish, or why are people bearish now? And maybe this is an explanation. So Kamala Harris erases Trump's lead, as the Wall Street Journal poll finds, and there are a lot of people that are like now a little bit doubting the polls, right? Because Kamala Harris, before, she wasn't really like the most favored person, but now apparently she's catching up to Trump, and Trump is basically the long trade, right? And then these polls come out that Kamala Harris is so strong, and people may be fearful that the market favoring, the crypto favoring candidate is maybe not going to win, right? So this could be one of the bigger reasons. And then obviously also, if you look here, tomorrow there is tomorrow more in the evening for Europeans, there is a Fed press conference, and that also can put a little bit pressure on the market, depending on how the other economic numbers are coming out throughout this week. So we have unemployment rates, we have I think there's even inflation or something like that in it. I don't have the mix here right now, but there are a couple of things coming up leading into and at the same time as the Fed conference, but obviously the Fed already knows this data, so maybe some volatility front running the Fed press conference, right? But overall, so here this one was great, how it started, how it's going. So if you look, this is in the old times when Bitcoin was only $100. There is Andreas Antonopoulos explaining Bitcoin to an empty room, like really preaching the stuff at $100, and there are like 3 people sitting around, one playing on his smartphone, where in comparison now at Bitcoin conference, you have the presidential candidate for the United States speaking, and so it's really like many things changed, right? Many things changed. But also, this is also interesting in the news, I would say. Japan's central bank at the same time has their monetary policy meeting already today. So this is one day before the Fed press conference will be. So the Fed also having their meeting then probably today, right? The Bank of Japan kicks off its July monetary policy meeting on Tuesday, with its policy decision due Wednesday. So also tomorrow, traders are focused on central bank's decision on interest rate and government bond purchases. So as we know, the Japanese currency is a little bit in trouble. They are very likely going to inject liquidity, which is good for our markets, as we would say. So here's the thing, like, even though all of these things are happening, even though that some people might be a little bit more bearish, on Fox they are discussing like $52 million price predictions for Bitcoin. So listen to this.
Van Eck last week had a report out saying that Bitcoin could go to 52 million by 2050 if it became a reserve asset around the world. You've never thought 52 million, have you?
I mean, the sky's the limit. I'm here for it, Charles. Their bull case is similar to what Michael Saylor forecasted over the weekend. Right. And price predictions are pretty difficult 25 years out. But I think what this means is that large asset managers are recognizing how early we are and the potential opportunity here and Bitcoin's ability to accrue and store value over the long run. Over the weekend, Van Eck CEO also said that 30% of his own personal net worth is in Bitcoin. Wow. So when you think about the hundreds of trillions of dollars out there in global wealth and assets, Bitcoin represents less than 1% of that pie today. So I think it's safe to say that by 2050, Bitcoin is poised to command a huge chunk of global wealth, especially if you understand that they're going to have to keep printing and debasing the currency. So as Satoshi wisely put it, you might as well get some just in case.
All right, so
yeah, exactly. So Satoshi being highlighted here as well. From time to time, people forget where this is all coming from. But discussing 52 million Bitcoin price prediction on television is always good. Why? Because people will look at their monetary situation. They will look at the chance. They will make the calculation on how many X's that would be from a $62,000 Bitcoin or $65,000 Bitcoin, and then they definitely will figure out that they do not have enough right now if they pay attention. And this is something that we will look in a second if they are paying attention. But first of all, I want to show you one more thing that actually I have to open. I tweeted, if you want this information more quickly, then also make sure to follow Hodler Patient on at Hodler Patient on Twitter. By the way, close to 2,000 followers here. And let me quickly go to this news here. So this is the reason why she's saying that they have to print money, right? The US national debt has just surpassed 35 trillion for the first time in history, which is crazy, right? And there are two mechanisms to get this debt down. And we see it here on the top left, like the total U.S. national debt, 35 trillion and 2 million or something like that, or 2,613 million. Man, that's like increasing like crazy. And obviously, like high interest rates contribute to that, because if you have that amount of debt, it's a different situation if you only have close to 0% to pay, or if you have close to like 5-6% to pay. And that is the situation. So what can slow this down, first of all, is to lower the interest rates, right? Because they have control over their own interest rates. So they need the rate cut very, very soon. They need the rate cut soon. And on the other hand, they also need to print money and pay off basically their interest rates, right? At least the interest rates, so that the US national debt is not going to increase that much anymore. The interest rate, though, is about the military budget, which is about 800 billion at the moment, 800 billion US dollars per year. So that that is the interest rate that they have at the moment. Somewhere there and thereabout. So they have to print a lot of money just to maintain this more stable and to not go that quick into like doubling or tripling this. So this means big liquidity injection coming into the market. And we see here also like debt per citizen is $103,000. Debt per taxpayer though is $267,000. How can the taxpayer be higher? Well, there are a lot of people that are not that are citizens but not taxpayers, right? For children, for example, they are not working. But there would be even on each newborn in the hospital or wherever, right, or at home, there would be $103,000 debt glued to the forehead, right? So if you would only put it on taxpayers, you would be already on 267,000. So technically, that's what you have to have stimulus into the population, right? And that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. These are unimaginable numbers, because you look here at this national debt, like 200, like only this last part. This is like there's actually like US. There is a clock where you can see this live. You have to see how US debt clock real time. I think it's this one. I think it's this. Yeah. So here you go, right? So on the top left, we see that panel that we just looked at, right? And look at the speed of which this is going up. This is the hundreds of thousands. And just while we're speaking, this just went from 100 to 400,000, 500,000, right? We can just wait a couple of seconds looking at this, and we will see 1 million accumulating. This is how fast this is going. But this also means that this is how fast they will be printing, basically, right? So here we see interest rate on debt, net, right? So this is 905 billion, 607 million, and we also see that interest rate going up like crazy. You can literally look how this is piling up, and the defense spending or whatever, like this is I mean, this is crazy, and this clock is completely out of control. It gives you little bit of like epileptic feelings, right? Doug, Luca Petrich is here. Yo, good morning, brothers and sisters. Drink some coffee. Lewis is here also, and Justin asked when Lambo. We don't know just yet, but in the meantime, you can get a Lambo on Veve. Yeah, Doug says, are whale manipulators themselves not getting tired of this consolidation shit by now? Not really, because if you look at the price, they make big trades. Like if you're trading with millions, like shorting the market, 6% gain on a couple of millions, and then long 10%, and then again 6% to the downside or something like that, right? If they use like and not even that, like this was a small one, but look at this. I mean, like the trades here are 20% trades in both directions. So this is how you play the market, accumulate bigger bags and make money in the meantime. If you are a whale, right? If you can manipulate the market in any direction. Like this is a 30% move. So yeah, not really getting tired of this if you can do this while you're waiting, right? While you're accumulating with the other hand, while you're putting your profits into accumulation, whatever, right? While you can scare out some like unexperienced mom and pops, right? So, nevertheless, no matter what whales are doing, Doug, this is the reality that every whale will face at one moment, right? And we are very, very close. We are very, very close to this massive move to the upside, and it's expected to come in any moment now. Any moment. I mean, we are about to close the month we are about to close the month very, very bullishly. Let me show this to you. So let's go from the 4 hourly into the monthly. And 1 second, let me stretch this out. So on the monthly, first of all, we're getting ourselves like a nice hammer here. That is one thing on the monthly candle. It's only 1 day and 18 hours out. And we're having ourselves a bull flag, right? If you would instead of our channel that we're looking at, take this lower end, let's make this a little bit more yellowish. No, yellow we have already enough. Let's take green and make it thick. So this, right, the candle bodies plus this upper line here, you have it. I mean, it even looks like a flag, right? You don't really have to do much for it. And then you can say, let's make this white again though. Let's say, okay, you have this, like from here, you have this flagpole, and you're going like from this flagpole. I mean, are we on the normal? Yeah, we were on the normal. That's good. So that would bring you to 110,000 there and thereabout, right? As a measured move, if this was in fact a bull flag ready to break out, which it very much looks like, right? I mean, this looks like picture perfect bull flag. Or you could even say, hey, this is like this flagpole is starting from here, but that doesn't really look like it. Then you go to this wick or something like that, and then you got yourself 115,000 or whatever, right? But in the end, I would just say that this is very bullish. You also see a lot of long wicks, so buyers are coming in like crazy. And this looks like a pole, a flag, and very, very likely this results at some point. You can have one more month here to extend this flag, and then you have the lift off, right? So consolidating at the all-time high also happened here a little bit, right? Here, down here, we almost barely, we can't see it, but it happened. Let me go there. By the way, bring the chat back. So we also had a little bit of consolidation here at around the all-time high. So you see all of that here, basically. Here's the all-time high. So, and then at some point we just broke out and never turned back, right? So here we are a little bit more sideways. Actually, this is potentially the biggest. Yeah, this might be the biggest bull flag that we've ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. This might be the biggest sized bull flag in terms of from the flagpole to the flag. This is crazy. This is going to go absolutely nuts. And let's talk about why I think that a little bit more, and look at here so you see the three colors: Bitcoin, blue, Ethereum red, NFTs yellow, right? And look what's happening right now. The interest, like the interest of retail, is coming up for Bitcoin, but only for Bitcoin, which coincides with our theory of Bitcoin season being in full mode, whereas altcoin season and NFT season are not happening. And that's also, if you see here, like altcoins a little bit up at 8, then at 7, now they're only at 4, now they're only at 3 at the last point. But Bitcoin is up to 25%. Nowhere near bull market territory. Here at the all-time high in March, the new all-time high, we were at 51. So retail is already bored again, and they will only come back if you hit like 80K or something like that. Or at least if you fly past all-time high, right? And that really is the game. Like, look at this here, right? We are coiling up, but altcoins don't react. This is what happened here as well. And this is the phase where we are. We are somewhere deep down here, right? Maybe we are already in this blip here and then coming up, but altcoins did not react yet. So we're really waiting for this parabolic move where retail suddenly Googles Bitcoin like crazy. Dan O says, I am not fully convinced the bull market is coming in 2025. Why? There must be a reason why. Partially because everyone expects it to. It's not really that everyone expects it, though. Like, you are not expecting it, and there are many people that said that we have a triple top and that we are going to go lower, right? And then also, I think the Bitcoin bull market, it's driven by other outside factors like global liquidity and so on, like that what I just showed you, central bank policy that is going to facilitate the life of risk on assets. But if you're looking at bull market indicators, right? They are flashing bull market. Yeah. So, for example, RSI did not really show that bull market would be over. We have election year, which is traditionally bullish. We have the TSI in an uptrend, and whenever so the TSI is one of the most bullish indicators that you can have once it formed a bull cross. Look at this. So the TSI is these two lines here down below. It's the total strength index. The green lines are our halvings. And look at that. So here's a bull cross, and we had this run afterwards, right? Then we have a bear cross, and our bear market started. We have here our bull cross happened here again, and that is where the parabolic move starts a couple of months later, culminating into a top of this trend line, which we see here. This would be our first top, like the first top is the real top. And then we have another bull cross right now. And look what we got. We got our first move upwards. So according to this indicator, for example, we are in the bull market already, and we are already almost 50% through it. Don't neglect it. Everyone is talking like if we were still on the bottom waiting to break out. We are already in the middle of the move. Like, we already have 1.5 years of bullish price action. Look at this parabolic curve. We are waiting for the second leg up that brings us to the all-time high. So from the bottom to where we are right now, we are roughly 500 days, right? So now, what do we expect though is from our Bitcoin halving to the top that we also spend 500 days, right? Which would bring us roughly into September 2025. Now, from the halving, we are more or less at the same level as we were before the halving. The halving is done. The halving has passed about 110 days or so, right? I don't know exactly the number. So we still should have 400 days of bull market in front of us. And now, these are only two indicators, like RSI waiting for the big pump, TSI waiting still for the move to the trend line and to show a rejection at the trend line to say we are in the end. Then also, as bullish factors, like, we just had a lot of FUD, and the market stood unfazed. If you had that same, like Germany selling Bitcoin and so on in more in this bear market territory, we would have dumped 20-30% on the news, but we didn't really, right? We didn't dump on these news. Instead, people are buying at these levels. So if this bull market wasn't to come, it would be actually a present for each and every one that is not in it, if it wasn't to come. But I don't really see how it doesn't come, because global liquidity wave is like a tsunami that is just starting, and this tsunami is going to flood into all markets. So for example, people are like, now it's like, these 7 big tech stocks that are leading the market, they are indicating like there's a huge gap to the rest. They are indicating that the market is over, right? Nvidia, Alphabet, whatever, Facebook, whoever is up there, Amazon and so on. But in fact, it is normal. Like, when it's just like Bitcoin moves first and then the altcoins. Like, consider Nvidia and Amazon and all these others, like the Bitcoins of Bitcoin, Ethereums of stocks, and the rest are just the shitty altcoins, right? So the others will move later. It's just the same mechanism as in our market. So liquidity concentrates first on the safer bets. And now that they are done, some people are taking profits and will roll this into other stocks. So I really don't see how this crisis environment hits right now. So the macro factor is US debt is crazy, so they have to lower rates and print money. There is election year, so the current administration has to do it either way to push Kamala's votes even more. If she wins, we'll have a little bit of this will be a little bit of a downer for the market. If Donald Trump wins, I think the market will go completely nuclear. It's going to be completely ballistic. Okay, because that basically means that he then has to execute on strategic reserve, right? Although it's his last term, he can do whatever he wants because he doesn't have to focus anymore on getting reelected, but probably he also wants this to happen. So that is going to happen. And then finally, you have to see if there was an outlook that this bull market would not come and instead we would go into deep 1929 recession or so, do you think that all these asset managers would buy and set up the infrastructure for this now? I mean, the best indicator of all that you can have is that BlackRock and all the others, they are filing for one and another ETF at a time because they want to have the trading fees, the fees of their ETFs, coming into the ETF, holding in ETF. They want fees on everything. They want to extract money from this market. They want to participate in this market. So I really cannot see any argument why we should be bearish at this point in time. And I've been giving this thought, like Dan O said, I've been giving this a lot of thought. Could we have, I don't know how, for example, some bears can say this is a triple top. This is clearly not the triple top. I mean, if I want to read something you could say, oh, here this wick and then this wick, and even then you don't have a straight line, right? But then on the other hand, you neglect that this is a big fat bull flag, right? Or you neglect that this could be, if you have a trend line like this, then you could also argue, oh yes, this is going to be a big fat inverse head and shoulders, right? So I mean, wanting to read a triple top into this is really cup and handle. I also can read this into this, right? So you can read a lot into this chart if you want, but literally from a bearish perspective, it's really difficult. Yeah, I mean, you could also then argue, oh yeah, this is a rising channel. Yeah, because the fucking whole Bitcoin is a rising channel at them. And it will break to the downside at some point. But I don't think to give us a bigger bear market. But I don't think we are there yet. In fact, I think that we are going to have a big leg up towards these 100 to 150,000, and then a big fat altcoin season also, because I think altcoins, they will have a very strong narrative in the future, because there are now altcoins. There are now altcoins that have nice tech, right? That really have nice tech. Like Solana, for example, has nice tech. All these meme coins potentially not, right? We see now that a lot of coins are red again on this pullback, but still there are some greens, and we see that still meme coin season is running. Meme coin season is still a thing, although that some of them are pulling back with the market as well, but we still see some meme coins doing well. But now already, look at that. For example, on the weekly, we see a little bit of a momentum shift in that sense. So for example, here we see Flow is doing well. EOS is doing really well. It's behind me, 1 second. There we go. It's here. There is PETH. Jasmy is here behind the window, right? And then also meme coin pullback, Floki is pulling back. Where is the rest? What is that? Like this mock coin. I think that's a meme coin. I'm not quite sure about this. There are a couple of things in the top one here. Bonk is another meme coin in the top 100. So you have a lot of meme coins in the top 100. Here's Pepe. It's also in the top 100. Popcat is probably a meme coin. Then you have Brett. This is like meme coin, but it's like every chain now has their meme coin that is pumping. Here's Ship and Doge. So out of the top 10, you have like 10% are meme coins. This is crazy. This is like way too much. And this will change, in my opinion. Like there will be 5 or so survivors, but even if you look in the next one, you have like Bomi, you have this thing here, Ponke, you have Turbo, you have Corgi AI. I don't know if that's an AI or a meme coin or a fusion of that, but yeah, you have a lot of these things going on, right? So yeah, that's obviously crazy, and yeah, and you have stuff like convex finance. So this is maybe what someone in the beginning said, DeFi. What do you think about DeFi narrative? Maybe it's starting again, because I think DeFi is one of the bigger applications that have real use cases on the blockchain, so to say, like where really an industry is building. Like I mean, look at DeFi, and DeFi is using a lot of Chainlink. So via Chainlink, we see how big the applications already are. We see things like Avi, but yeah, also this one here is pumping like crazy at the moment. So definitely that could be an indicator. And on the monthly, look at on the monthly, there are a couple of things that are up. This H2O DAO is up 151% in the middle of like a sideways move. So this gives you also a little bit of view how an altcoin season will look, because in an altcoin season, like every coin across the board will look like this, more or less, and some of them will go up hundreds of percents in just a means of a couple of days. So we will have like 50-60 days where all the gains are being made, and yeah, that's where we have to be ready. Okay, but don't forget, it's not altcoin season. It's let's see also how Ethereum. Let's look at the Ethereum a little bit more, how it's doing. So Ethereum is not printing on the monthly the exact same bullish thing as Bitcoin, because look, Ethereum has an altcoin. Like this is how altcoins are behind, right? Bitcoin is sitting under its all-time high and consolidating there. Like if this was comparably the same with Bitcoin, it would be sitting here and then consolidating here. But it's not the case. Ethereum is sitting below this resistance, right, here, and consolidating here, ready to get to its previous all-time high. And this is due to the fact that that it is Bitcoin season, right? It's just one more fact for Bitcoin season. Next stop though is probably all-time high once we close above this overhead resistance. And also one factor here is that the Ethereum ETFs didn't do so well yet as they were expected to, but over time I think it will happen, because the main factor here for Ethereum is that the Grayscale Trust has so much, like 9 billion of Ethereum, and they will just cause some outflow. So it can take a while until Ethereum has a liftoff. But also here, like you see the TSI bullish cross that last time happened. We also had that bullish cross on the TSI here, and we're in the middle of the move. Yeah. No way next month is green. We will see how the next month turns out. It depends highly, I would say, Steve Jones, I would say it highly depends on the Fed decision tomorrow. Like if we have a lot of weak economic data, it could be happening that they probably don't do a rate cut like now, but what could happen is that they already like more or less guarantee the rate cut for September, right? And that the market would take that very positively. But yeah, if they do something like, oh, we have to stay higher for longer and I don't know what, then probably the market will take it as a bad sign, because everyone is just waiting for the Fed to finally start their rate cut. So here, also on this pullback note, Bitcoin dominance, it's actually not pulling back, right? So Bitcoin dominance is, I mean, a little bit of pullback. If you go on the weekly, let's go on the weekly, we see a little bit of pullback on the week. Yeah, we have been at almost 57% a pullback here, so it's actually pulling back right now. Together with the Bitcoin pullback, seems that altcoins are holding up a little bit better. But over the time, I still expect Bitcoin dominance to go higher and altcoins still creeping around for the next couple of months. We will see. Speaking of altcoins, let's see how they took how the channel looks after this Bitcoin pullback. So there is this yellow channel that we are observing. I think we can look at it a little bit more in the weekly. So here we see this. So we got rejected also here to the upside, but you see that altcoins out of the top 10, except the top 10, they are slightly green, which explains why the dominance is going down for Bitcoin, because some altcoins are just catching up. Some altcoins are catching up a little bit at the moment. Going into the daily, we see it. So overall, like, the altcoins are maintaining a little bit more stable. We are waiting though for what's happening to altcoins once Bitcoin breaks out. So I think the breakout could be very soon-ish. Like soonish, I mean somewhere in August or something like that. It could be happening. It depends all on Bitcoin. I mean, theoretically, this channel can just continue, right? This falling channel can just continue more. Like you push once again and then you go lower and then you try it again and then comes a breakout. If that would happen like I drew it, we would be already in end of September. This would be already end of September, right? So usually with a higher chance, more likely than not, these channels break to the upside, like it did here, like this small sample of what is going to happen here. So this for the altcoins. Now let's look at our favorite altcoin of them all, the Ecomi. Omi at even, Dano says Omi at even 005 seems such a far cry. Let's move. Yeah, I mean, Ecomi has a little bit more of a problem than other altcoins because it has a very passionate family around it, but it also has the problem of like bringing the right news to the right people and pushing the narrative. But there is still time, and we need to see first a bullish reversal before we can really talk about targets, right? We need to finally come out of the slump here. I mean, for everyone who wants to accumulate, this is perfect, right? But we still don't really see like buyers stepping in hard. So what we need to see is like a reversal where you take out this zone at the end of this reel. Like first of all, you need something like this, and then you come higher, you test, you come higher. You need really a reversal out of that, and it doesn't look. I mean, here you see really what I mean. If you zoom out, it's not that big, right? If you zoom out, it's not that big what's needed, but it is in terms of liquidity and like you really need some buyers to come in, and at the moment for many people there's not so much reason to buy the Omi token, right? That is basically the problem. When is the next exchange? So an exchange listing obviously will help because more people are exposed than to Ecomi, right? But what Ecomi does have is it just like it forms these type of rounding bottom patterns, right? So this is what it has. If you look on let's look at this on a weekly-ish scale, and I have all these whales in here because we kind of said that it marked every point when a big whale trade went in here. So usually you see why I'm usually on the logarithmic scale, because this is the real scale, right? And you don't see anything anymore. So we really usually we look at the log scale, which looks like this. And then you have it in perspective and can look at everything at once. But here the necessity stays the same. But on the log scale, you more or less see how this is. We basically need the rounding out of this curve, right? We need this to come up in this shape. And actually, like I drew it right now, if this would be, we have done this many times, but like I drew it right now, it would basically say you come up here in October 25, right? If we would move coherent to this. So obviously the hope is that we can go a little bit steeper like this and be done with it in April already and be at all-time highs somewhere there. But from a point of the market cycle and altcoin season and so on, this could actually go into 2025. Yeah. Dan says, I think there's exactly 0% chance some of our well-known whales don't dump before 1 cent. They are gonna be ecstatic to dump near half cent. It depends all on how the performance is. There will be also profit taking already once you pass this, right, somewhere here, because so many people have DC8, so there will be profit taking. The question is how many people will come in to buy, right, at some of these heights. So some people will be, so here will be an exchange, a big exchange of hands will be here, right? So you will consolidate a lot at this point, because so many people will move out of Ecomi once this point is reached. Yeah. So there needs then a big strong argument for more people coming in. So let's just do the math. Like we have 275 billion roundabout in tokens in circulation, right? Some of these will be deducted by burns, right? So you will burn a couple of million tokens, maybe a couple of billion tokens, depending on the burn mechanism, how good it is and how much it is used. So you need technically 275 people at $1 billion each, and the supply is in hands, right? Also meaning that you need 2,000 people, 2,750 people at what did I say? No, 1,000 people at. Sorry, what was the where was I getting? You need you need 1,000 people at 275 million or so Ecomi, right, and so on. So 10,000 people would be 2.75 million Ecomi, right? Something like that. Is that correct? No, it would be 27.5 million Ecomi. Yeah, 27.5. So so 100,000 people needed to put the average bag of like a normal investor into perspective here and allocate the supply evenly. So Dan also says they have trauma. Yeah, I mean it's with many coins. Like so many people. The problem in this fam is that many people only hold Ecomi and nothing else, right? So they don't know that there are other coins out there. Roman says, hey bro, do you think the whole market will flag till September FOMC? It could happen. It could happen. I mean, if there's there are always unexpected catalysts to both sides that could be happening, and you know that it's never boring. We are never boring in this market. But it could be happening, yes, that we go sideways another full month until the next FOMC in September. Like the whole August, that we go sideways the whole August, potentially. Dan also says, I am happy there seem to be just enough users to keep Veve from going the way of Recur. But for the love of God, I hope they are working in the background to make things better. Yeah, I think they do. I think they have a severe interest in having their business running, and it will come. Like NFT season, and this is something where I will be completely contrary to everyone else. I think that I think that NFT season, this cycle will be insane, because we had an NFT season, and this is completely contrary to almost everyone else, but we had a cycle where NFT season was a complete shit roulette for everyone, and no one paid attention to quality, brands, and execution, utility, whatever, right? This time, people will look at quality. So you will not be able anymore to just mint whatever shitty JPEG collection on OpenSea and sell it for 1 ETH each. This will not happen anymore. But what will happen is that the established brands will go nuts and crazy, like Bored Ape Yacht Club and Pudgy Penguins and CryptoPunks. Like these, I think they will be, like Pudgy Penguins will play a significant role. And I think then also people will, if Veve and Ecomi market this right, they will also be very, very successful in the next run. And we cannot imagine this right now because in bear markets, and NFTs are still in bear market, the FUD prevails, right? This is normal. But you see it already in Bitcoin. Like, where's all the negativity in Bitcoin, right? You could still have the same arguments in Bitcoin, but no one is negative anymore because we're glued close to all-time high. But for the, Energy says, would love to know on what Dan is working since the last NYCC, didn't see him. I don't know, but we saw him in Auxerre. So Dan was there in Auxerre. So in the, like in March or so. No, when was it? In January, end of January. We saw him in Auxerre. Which big exchanges you expect, and when for OMI, and in which sequence? That English-German mix is super funny. This is hard to say, but I expect OMI to launch on more exchanges that are not in the US, like non-US exchanges, probably, very likely. And then we will see. But with the move to base, maybe at some point they can get it done. I think so. What we saw is that they don't pay, or in most cases they don't want to pay for exchanges, right? So we didn't get the Huobi listing, for example, because we lost the competition. But they could just pay 80K or something like that, and then it would be listed there as well. But they don't want that. So most coins that are new, they pay, like they sell some into the market when it pumps, they make it pump, they sell, and with that they pay new exchanges, so they have this chain reaction. STU says, folks saying Bitcoin to 1 million ETC long-term price goals are so stupid. Yeah, I think it's more or less like you have for Bitcoin and also for most altcoins, at some point when you're at all-time high, you have uncharted territory. So you try to give yourself a benchmark, right, where it could go. I think that 1 million this cycle is completely out of scope. But I think long-term it's possible. Long-term it's possible, but not this cycle. Like 1 million this cycle would be crazy. I don't think that will happen. But what could happen this cycle is somewhere between 100 and 200K. That I would expect. Duck and Cover, good morning. What's going on, my man? Still at 25% transfer status at Bitforex, waiting on train station, but no train is coming. Yeah. So again, this is really this is super annoying. Let's just look here for the Bitforex quickly. So there is no news from Bitforex as it seems. Let's also check the replies then. So they have this it takes time and so on, patience during this period. A lot of people are working. A lot of people are waiting for an update. There's no update. People are waiting on this 25%. I saw a lot of people posting a screenshot also on the timeline. but they didn't respond to anyone. Like, let's see the comments also of them. 4 days ago, submitted KYC and still pending. Some people reported though that KYC actually went through. So let's look at this. 24 hours, okay. So most of the people, they said something on 26th, 27th. Has anyone withdraw finished pending yet? So here we see, right, how long is this expected to take? No one knows, right? No one knows at this point, but hopefully they will analyze and then release a bunch, like a batch of coins. So I did, where is it? Here, I did retweet this. So this is also a reason why you need to follow me on Twitter at Hodler Patient. Good news for everyone trying to get their stuff off of Bitforex. Because this guy here, TC Shank, he said KYC took 3 days but was approved in the end, now waiting for withdrawal to go through. So apparently these KYCs, they are being processed. So the question is now, do they just pile up withdrawals and then release a batch? We don't know, right? But the KYC going through means something is happening. Something is happening. So thanks for the update to TC Shank here and keeping us updated. KYC has gone through, but no sign of any successful withdrawals. Everyone's sitting at 25%. So this Mike Black here, he's confirming what you guys are also saying. So Patrick, yeah, that is something that is happening to many people, as it seems. Now, in these last minutes, there's not too much, but there's one thing for Veve also, but not too much to see. They are going to bring another Star Wars drop. This one here, Java's embark on the desert journeys in colossal sand crawlers, which we also have on the app. Let me just put the chat here on this side. And scavenging discarded technological debris. The Java character series brings 3 new digital collectibles to a new hope. So let's see what's going to drop. But Star Wars is always a cool one, and I really like these little shits. I really like them. Also from the old movies. So let's see here. So there is the Java 03 common. 8. So this like Stormtrooper. 10 gems price, 8,888. There is the rare with 5,000, and then there is the secret rare with only 222. So people are going to chase. I will probably try my luck on one of these or so. We will see. Like 10 gems, why not? Let's do it. When is this? Like 3rd of August 2024 at 8 a.m. PT. What is that? What day is that? Let me see the calendar here. That is like, okay, 3rd of August is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Okay, fine. So we could even, like, I was thinking I could even go online, depending on whether I am at home or not, and just try my luck on stream on some of these things, like doing a little bit of a drop / Ecomi discussion if there is a cool drop or so to do. But yeah, I think these look kind of cool. By the way, is this last one animated or so? No, it's not, right? But it looks cool with this, whatever that thing is that it has in hand. I like the common more, to be honest, with the gun pulled out. They should have burned the Sandcrawler before this release, yeah. Mewtwo says, is it just me, or are you also tired of one character dropping in 3 different poses? Yes, I like rarity and such, but I feel like Veve needs to spice it up more. I agree. Wolverine in 3 nearly identical poses was hella lame. Yeah, I agree. I think I like blind boxes more if they are actually different characters in the blind box, right? Because that gives you more of a Pokemon feeling, where you can have actually different characters and cards. By the way, like, I'm still curious of what they're going to do with this Pokemon NFT thing. But Yeah, I agree with you, Mewtwo. I think, and also Energy, I agree. Like the Sandcrawler, they should have burned it, and they should have made the Sandcrawler. If you have the Sandcrawler, you put these little shits here to the side of the Sandcrawler, that they get like a secret animation or so. That would be crazy, right? So then, because that would increase the value of the Sandcrawler infinitely, basically, for the vault builders. Remember when Toby sold out? Yeah, yeah, I remember. I was actually, when Toby sold out, I was at the pizzeria with Trucking Hank in Munich. I remember that day. I think that was Toby. I think that was the Toby drop. Yeah. But whatever. Same character in slightly different poses with a huge supply. I mean, Star Wars, I still get it. With the poses and so on, collectors, blah, blah, blah. And also this one, at least, this one has only 10 gems. So you can have, like, you can try to have all the 3 poses, like a figurine collector and so on. Not too bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, on that note, also let's have a quick look at StackR here. By the way, I managed to log in finally. So on StackR, we have some sales yesterday, like someone bought some Lomans on Spider-Man Noir. Also, 2 days ago, someone bought a Miles Morales. The floor is now at 12,500. So Miles Morales, if you want to compare it to Bored Apes and stuff like that, Bored Ape floor is 11 ETH and Miles Morales is at about 4 ETH. Yeah, more or less, like close to 4 ETH. So we really see that there are some valuable things here. Trucking Hank says your memory is better than mine, but I remember that because these were, I think this was like when was that? Like 2 years ago. I think that must have been in 2022 or something like that. I think it was 2 years ago, somewhere like that. Also, Partner Statue came up again at 1,500 floor. And there is a gold and silver logo that has also sold apparently at about 4,000. That is, like, the gold silver logo is sitting at about 1 and something ETH. Like, if you don't believe that these things can go up in value, they can tremendously. Like, only compare it to like NFTs right now at the absolute bottom, like Bored Ape sitting at 5 times the floor price, right? So there is still a good chance that these floors are going to go like 10x or so in the next, probably in 2025, more to the end of the year, right? Especially if the brand is high. And I mean, so this, and I see that I have still a year or so I can definitely accumulate towards like a bigger grail or something like that, right? So I can definitely get. So where's Journey into Mystery sitting, by the way? Journey into Mystery 83. Where is it sitting? 680. It's coming my way, guys. I have about 100 gems. 100 gems. It's coming my way. So 580 gems needed until I can buy this. It's coming my way. So Jim 83, definitely a grail that might be possible. So always remember that we'll grab as much cash as they can at all times whenever possible. Yes, of course they will. 30,000 Tobis at $50. That was a good deal. Mewtwo says, static collectibles, when you can create the craziest computer games nowadays with moving characters, it's like buying a bike at your local store, but you can't ride it. It's only there to be looked at. I think this is coming. I still love Veve just saying, yes, I agree with you. I think they should have both, but we saw also that they have like collectibles with good animations, right? So for example, there was the what was it? The Monster Hunter ones. They have really good animations. And then also, I think Miles Morales, Secret Rare has a very good animation. So that is definitely happening. So I think they still will bring both. And the reason why they bring both is like there is a specific dedicated collector style, nostalgic collector, that also likes static figurines. I would just prefer then, if it's a static figurine, that it is only one version of it. So yeah, and also I think it all comes down at the moment to what people have money for and what not. So I think at these times, like bear market editions and so on, you should go more like the first Wolverine drop. I think that was good because I think it was animated, it had sound, it was only one version, 3,000 editions, and subsequently it sold out, right? So I don't know what the floor is on that one, but there are just too many things that I would also want to would like to have. By the way, like the Superman is crazily near to, and also Emperor's Fist, like it's crazy. I want to save into the direction of a Grail, like either like Jim 83 or even like maybe Marvel Comics #1. But yeah, I have to make the calculation how I can do that. Did anyone release any reasoning why Dan is not at SDCC one? I wouldn't worry too much about this. Like this is like it's a Comic-Con, and I mean, do both of the executives have to be at every convention? That is the question. Like it's not. Veve is a relatively big company now, so probably there are also meetings with licensors and so on going at the same time, with either potentially new licensors or with existing ones. And also someone has to manage that whole ship while David is jumping around and having fun with all the collecting stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good to speculate, it's good to see, but also on the other hand, like how many other companies do you see like all executives showing up at the conventions? Like if you are growing, there will be a point where probably David also will not be able to attend all of these conventions, and there will be only a certain staff sent out to just do it, right? So yeah, again, we saw Dan at Auxier. I don't know. Maybe someone will tell in the future why. I mean, there's always a risk or a chance that something happened, like this, it fell ill, or that he's leaving the company, right? That is a possibility, but I would consider everything. Like, do you have to be at every convention? This is the question. As a company, yes, but Dan, I don't know. Like, what would... Also, for example, at Auxier, Dan was mostly somewhere, like, he was mostly somewhere else working or stuff like that, right? He wasn't always by the stand. That was David. David did this all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I didn't speak to them since Auxier, so at Auxier there was a chance to talk, but after that we did not have any contact. Yeah, so that is basically it with the drought. So, anyways, guys. On that note, make sure to smash up the like button right now for the stream if you enjoyed the daily morning coffee. Did you guys see that since 3 weeks we do have every day a live stream, at least one live stream? We even have Altcoin Degen streams from time to time. Did you realize that? So if you enjoy that, make sure to smash up the like button right now. Let me know through the likes that you want that. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, with notifications on. And guys, wherever you are on the world, have this great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon.